Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope everybody is having a good week out there. No complaints here. I'm shooting this on a Wednesday afternoon, hump day, and it's a beautiful day here in South Alabama. And probably as soon as I get this video done, no, actually, I got to go take a shower, wash my hair. But after I get that done, I'm going to go for a walk, get outside a little bit. I encourage you to do the same thing. Anyhow, today I'm going to talk about why I don't measure how much or how many on a raw vegan diet. And this is going to be one of my reference videos that I can just reference people to. I get that asked all the time. So anyhow, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go down and hit that subscribe button now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you can come back and check out some more of my videos. But yeah, I get this constantly on Instagram. I'll share some ice cream and it's like, there's always that person. Almost every time I share an ice cream, how many bananas is in that? How many this is in a serving? How much of that? How much do you put? How much of this? How much of that? It's just not the way that I roll on this lifestyle. And as I say that, I'm not saying that like that's a stupid question for people to ask, because most people are kind of into that. And I'm going to tell you the reason why that I don't do that to start off with. Ever since I've started this lifestyle, and this is probably what's kept me on it, is that I've been able to do it without a whole lot of effort. And from day one, for me, I went high raw. Like, I didn't do a big transition, but I went high raw right from the beginning. And ever since, it's just been a race to keep, it's just been like an effort to keep weight on. So I don't count. I have zero reason whatsoever to count calories, because I haven't found during one period of doing this where I've had to. It's like, I can't eat enough to eat too much. I can't eat enough to like get fat or gain weight. I literally, the way I eat and I'm not trying to be like one of the purists, but the clean way that I actually eat, the things that I eat, I don't have to limit whatsoever, so I don't pay attention. Now, there are exceptions to that. If I'm doing a recipe, especially if I'm doing somebody else's recipe, like yesterday I was making a salad dressing by Alyssa of Raw Food Romance. And yes, okay, there I tend to go more by the recipe. I'll still mix it up a little bit, just depending on my taste. And like for things I make, like a lot of my recipes, I just make it up as I go. I never remember the recipe. A lot of times I don't write down all of my recipes. And it's probably never made the same way twice. So when somebody says, well, what's in this that you made? I'm like, well, this particular time, oh shit, what did I put in there? And it becomes kind of a stretch for me to think about that, because like I say, I've never needed to think in those terms. I don't see any reason to think in those terms. I simply eat. I'm never hungry. I don't tend to overfill myself, but then again, it's very hard with salads and fruits and lighter things like that to overfill yourself. With the fats, you do have to watch yourself a little bit, and that's probably some of the things that I'm a little bit more, but I'm still not exact about them. But I'm a little bit more aware of how much, say, fat I add to things. Like, for instance, when I have an ice cream. Okay, people will say, oh, you should never add fat with fruit, but I don't follow all the rules. But so sometimes I like almond butter in my nice cream. Now, the most I ever put in a serving of nice cream, and if I'm guesstimating how many bananas, we're probably talking 9 bananas, 8, 9 bananas, big serving of nice cream. I might put 2 tablespoons of almond butter. More often than not, it's 1 tablespoon. So there are certain things that I do pay attention to like that. Things that, because like I say, once again, I don't focus on calories. I don't need to know exactly how many calories I'm in. I've kind of developed, like I say, I just know the volume of food I'm taking in. I know the certain things I have to eat throughout the day, and I know the volume of food I have to take in throughout the day to maintain my weight and to get everything that I need. But I'm not sitting there going, okay, let's say I had 4 bananas, or I had this amount of bananas. Y'all excuse me there. My roommate came home earlier than I was expected, so I just changed locations here, but it's all good. I'll be honest with you. I enjoy living with somebody and somebody else in the house from time to time, so it's all a good thing. So, I was talking about amounts and how I don't count the calories, and sometimes my senile brain gets lost if I have to do different takes. But I will also too be a little bit more aware of the amount of things I take in that actually deal with the nutrition. What I mean in like, okay, like say I use blackstrap molasses for extra calcium, extra iron. So when I'm putting in my smoothies, I try to make sure, but still I don't measure them out exactly. I mean, I know I do it with my hand, but I'm guesstimating, but I'm getting at least a tablespoon. I'm trying to get a tablespoon. I'm actually trying to get 2 tablespoons now of that, so I'll pay attention. A lot of times, if I'm using hemp seeds, I tend to measure them. I'll do them like 2 or 3 tablespoons at a time. And as far as like, even if I'm not measuring exacts, the nutrition part is really more what I focus on, what I'm taking in throughout the day. In other words, like, okay, how much of this did I eat this morning? Or how many calories did I get in my first meal or for breakfast? My mind goes down the list of like, okay, have you gotten your greens in for the day? Have you gotten the amount of greens? And I'll be full disclosure, I never get the amount of greens that I want to get into in a day. But ideally, my ideal day, I'll have a big salad and I'll have a big green smoothie. And in those salads, I'll put a whole head of like red leaf lettuce. I'll chop up cabbage in there. I'll chop up some carrots in there. And also, too, that's where I get my lentil sprouts. So I'm always focusing on every day trying to get in as many greens as possible. When I make my green smoothies, I double stuff the kale in there to get as much as possible. I'm always making sure that I've gotten at least a cup of sprouts in for the day. So things like that. Like I say, I'm going down a mental checklist of, okay, have I got this for the day? I want to get stuff like this time of year. I want to eat things that's got more vitamin C in it if I eating things with vitamin C. But also, too, I'm not chasing every nutrient every day. I'm just like the book Whole by T. Colin Campbell. I'm really more the big picture, trying to eat enough calories for my size, get enough variety. Boom. You take care of the nutrients that you need. But during certain times of the year and when I'm in certain situations, i.e. not in Costa Rica where I'm getting just, I just get fruit all the time. Like this time of year, not getting as many mangoes, so I need to start getting my oranges again or my kiwis and stock up on that vitamin C going into the winter time. But yeah, it's just not all that interesting to me, how many, and I think that's why I frustrate people so much on Instagram. And so a lot of times I've gotten to where I just don't even answer that one anymore because I don't know. And it's, you kind of get worn down by saying, I don't know. I don't pay attention. I didn't watch how much I put in there. Also, too, just FYI, all bananas are not created equal. People, like whether it's a smoothie I make or, an ice cream or whatever, people always tend to ask, how many bananas? How many bananas in that? Well, the amount doesn't really matter. Like a lot of times in my Vitamix, certain things I do, like I make my smoothies or I make usually just my smoothies because I make my ice cream in my food processor. But in my Vitamix, when I'm making smoothies, it's not about the number of bananas. It's about how big those bananas are and where they come up to in my Vitamix. So in other words, of being like, okay, I used 8 bananas. Whatever the amount of bananas came to the same place in my Vitamix as it always does. So like I say, I'm not just, willy-nilly. I have an idea of what I'm taking in and things, but just like I say, it's of no consequence because I just don't have to think about it. And that's what has kept me on this lifestyle for so long. I'll finish with this just for people that maybe haven't heard my story for the 437th time. I was a fat kid. I won't say I lost weight when I was about 13 or so and never was like big fat kid again, but I got real big during college, working out, taking steroids, drinking a lot. I was about 245. After college, I slimmed down, but I was always like everybody else. I would, I'd get 20 pounds overweight, 25 pounds overweight. The one thing that always saved me is even when I ate a standard American diet and was drinking like the town drunk, I always had a ceiling for my weight. I never let my weight get boom, or not necessarily a particular number, but the way I looked, the way my clothes felt. So I never got more. I never, after a childhood, I never got more than about 25 or 30 pounds overweight at any time, and then I'd lose it and then gain it. But when I came to this lifestyle, it was the first time diet, trying to do something different for your health, whatever, that I could actually, I didn't have to restrict any. I could eat all I wanted, and I never had to wait. You know, ever remember being on a diet in the past, or doing, or trying to limit yourself, and you've eaten and it's like 2 hours, 3 hours until you're supposed to eat again, and you're damn near chewing your hand off because you're so hungry? It's great not to have to do that. So you got to kind of find your way on this, feel your way on this. But I'll finish with what I always say, my cliche, the Jack cliche: the cleaner you eat, the more you can eat. And in the cleaner you eat, you never have to be hungry. You know, if you're eating a lot of garbage, if you're eating up things that are very dense in calories, well, then you have to count. The way I eat, I don't, because it's bad. Like, I can just eat all day, every day, and not gain weight. So it is what it is, and that's why I don't pay that much attention. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you here again at the end of the week. Peace.